Hey guys, Sunny and Rickson here. We're going to be reading another creepypasta, except I am turning the tables. Rickson is going to be reading the creepypasta this time.
Yeah, shock.
Yeah.
I'm thinking running for Cabertown, in Scotland.
Yeah.
Scottish. Yeah.
Andrea
It's
Cortez
not your
has
cup of
things
tea.
tied down over here when she's running for president.
Yeah. I have to do a Scottish accent.
Amazing.
I have to do a
All
Scottish
right.
accent.
So
It's gonna
I'm gonna be reading along,
pierce me.
and Rickson is gonna be like reading it out loud while I just stare at the story and follow Rickson's soft, sexy words. So go ahead.
Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. If I stop talking to Sunny, you have to, cause my throat's a little dry. You know. Scottish. Okay, here we go. Sun Lake Amusement Park. I'm writing this down to document my trip to Sun Lake, an old theme park in the Everglades of Florida. The reviews online were surprisingly hard to find, and they often warned of safety hazards and odd occurrences. On average, they gave about a 2-star rating. As I'm walking up to this lake, which is more of a swamp, I can tell why the ratings are so low. It's more of an abused antique than it's more than an abused antique in a theme park. There were a few children and what I presumed a single mom in front of me at the entrance. I saw them walk into distance as I asked a man at the front booth for a ticket. It didn't seem like the park had anyone walking around besides the one mother and her children. I found that extremely odd. I turned awkwardly to the man in the booth and asked, "Looks like a slow day today, doesn't it?" He quickly ignored my small talk and handed me the ticket. Disregarding his rudeness, I grabbed the ticket hastily and headed into in through the small entrance. In through. My first impression of the park was founded on the fact that the walkways were simply dirt and rock. It didn't seem very impressive, but I guess it fit the theme. The surrounding area was covered in thick mud, medium-sized trees, and draping weeds. There wasn't much room to stray away unless you wanted to risk meeting whatever creatures inhabited this park. So far, I've seen this place as a safety hazard, and alligators wouldn't be out of the question. Keeping in mind, as I stirred up to my first attraction. I was wondering how safe the Torchlight House would be. "Hello? Is anyone in there?" I stepped into the entrance of the ride, grabbed a plastic toy torch from the steel bin of the left of the doorway, and pushed the button. It gave me a dim light that illuminated the small hallway in front of me. I slowly walked forward with a firm footing, expecting someone to jump out on every corner or small crevice. In a few minutes, I started to realize there was nothing and no one to scare me. It was just the same long, boring, yet admittedly ominous hallway. It was empty. I mean, empty down to the core. It was still, it was still drywall, and you could see where it was just put together, almost like it'd been stripped. This couldn't have been acceptable. At this point, I was just wondering how this park hadn't gone bankrupt. I shrugged, and began to question myself aloud as I made my way to the next ride. The wacky water boat. Oh god, I was excited for this. I looked into the boat and saw that this time the mother and her children would be joining me. Still no staff members or ride attendant to assist us. Just me and this weird little family. This weird little family that just like the ticket seller, didn't pay a hint of attention to me. In fact, they just stared blankly off into off the boat, peering around me into the murky distance. I decided since I've already been rejected once, it would probably happen again with these freaks. I sat in my seat, and the boat started moving automatically. Huh. Huh, more like beep flinger. I murmured to myself. The family expectedly paid no attention, and I sat nervously awaiting the thrilling part of this thrill ride. The boat continued on what I assumed a set path through the dark water. As it did, I felt the area closing on me. The trees in the area were more scraggly and bitter, almost as if they were clinging onto the life in a moment of death. The water was mainly mud, and I'm not really how the boat continued moving through the thick viscosity. The only thing of any note that if I could see in front of us was a large white wooden building. Before entering the building, the boat made a low metal scraping noise, and it lifted itself out of the water, moving the track onto a white, peppered concrete floor. The inside of the building looked much like a non-human present fish shop. The floor was replaced with algae-heavy water. As the boat made its way around the corner, I could see something peek its nose out of the water. An alligator! I started to panic.
¿Qué
And looked on
carajo?
the other side of the boat, and that's where the mother... What?
¿Qué carajo? An alligator.
Why is this place not shut down? But there was no mother. There were no children. Or at least that's what I thought. Until I peered over the boat. And out of the water raced 3 fingers. Their skin, hair, and clothes merging with the algae. Their mouths gaping open and moaning as if they were grasping for life. In a moment of death.
Okay, let me just jump in here. There's no way. No way! That an alligator can skin 3 people within 2 seconds. Thank you.
Okay, can I get back to reading this?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a good reason that park closed 3 times. There's a good reason the park closed 3 before I entered. The reviews were god-awful. The employees were careless, and the ride attendants were almost never present. That allowed 2 arguing children and a distressed single mother to be consumed by sun.
E10.
So now what?
You give me your opinion like we normally do.
Oh. I don't know, it was fan-made by a good friend, Nice Pasta. I liked it. This is a good one. If
Nice
he made
Pasta.
it himself, that was pretty good.
The link to his channel is in the description. He's a nice
Yeah.
CreepyPasta author and reader. So go check him out.
Yeah. I can read a quote from him. Would you like me to read a quote from one of his? I'm going to read a quote from Nice Pasta, okay? Creepypastas are the ghost stories of the internet. If you've made it here, you may not make it back. So grab a cover and a snack. It's gonna be a long night.
Ooh.
Nice pasta.
Well, thank you guys for watching this creepypasta. Tell us what you think of Rickson's seductive voice in the comments.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time.
Yeah, it was